Gayatri Mantra, the Genesis of Divine Culture. Audio 1. Let us begin with the collective chanting of the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha Tassaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Sisters and brothers, a mother is the highest manifestation of God in the human form. Our scriptures say, Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. Indeed, there is no one greater than a mother. We all know that each one of us is born and is surviving because of mother's grace. She bears the offspring for 9 months, nourishes the embryo in the womb by her own blood, and continues to do so after the infant is born. By generously feeding her milk, which is formed by her blood and other vital elements. At every stage of his growth, it is the mother who nurtures and takes care of the child. Our life is incomplete without mother's love, affection, and protection. There is one more mother whom many of us do not know. The mothers we know give birth to our bodies and help raising our worldly lives. The Mother Supreme nurtures our soul. She is referred as Kamdhenu, celestial cow of the heavens, whose milk nourishes divinity, empowers the gods, and enables them to shower enormous boons on the world. I have never been to the heaven. I do not know where it is, whether there could ever exist a Kamdhenu cow there is also uncertain. But one Kamdhenu I do know, the supreme mother of the gods and also of all living beings. She is the primordial cosmic force of life and the origin of all existence. She is Gayatri. She is also Ritambara Pragya, pure, discerning intellect, prudent foresight, enlightened thought power. This Ritambara Pragya, Gayatri, is the soul of Indian culture, also referred as the Rishi culture, the culture of divinity. A seed is so tiny, but the structure of a mighty tree, all properties of its leaves, flowers, and fruits are encoded in its seed. The negligible sperm and ovum cells contain the hereditary information of uncountable number of ancestral generations. Similarly, all the divine knowledge and science of the cosmos is compiled in the seed of unique configuration of 24 specific syllables known as the Gayatri Mantra. The Vedic scriptures mention that Lord Brahma had obtained the absolute knowledge and power of cosmic creation by the Upasana, Sadhana of Gayatri Mantra for thousands of years. Lord Brahma had generated the holy Vedas by attaining the transcendental knowledge encoded in 4 parts of this majestic mantra. The Rig Veda originated from Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, Yajur Veda Tatsa Vitur Vareniyam, Sam Veda Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, and Atharva Veda Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. This is why Gayatri is also revered as Ved Mata, the mother of the 4 Vedas, which are the source of entire deciphered and undeciphered knowledge, which are the foundations of our religious philosophy and culture. The absolute knowledge described in the 4 Vedas is the light of Gayatri only. All divine powers, enlightenment, creative, and evolutionary forces emanate from the Gayatri Mantra. The very mantra which is the nucleus of all my spiritual sadhanas and which I teach you. I have devoted every moment of my life, every beat of my heart to this preeminent mantra. The mystic science of how Lord Brahma manifested nature and succeeded in cosmic creation with the support of Gayatri Sadhana is beyond the grasp of most of you. Therefore, our revered rishis had elaborated the philosophical interpretations with detailed examples. They explained that the 24 letters of the Gayatri Mantra symbolize the 24 divine incarnations of God. Every incarnation of Lord Vishnu is a manifestation of the divine force indwelling in the cosmic vibrations of the corresponding syllable of this mantra. What is the spiritual, devotional, scientific meaning and philosophy of the Gayatri Mantra? How can its teachings be adopted in different circumstances of human life? How the spiritual seekers and ordinary mortal beings could benefit from its sadhana? Our rishis had created a wide range of Vedic scriptures to guide the sadhaks and the masses. While the 108 Upanishads and 6 darshanas represent the deeper philosophy and spiritual aspects, the 18 Puranas pertaining to the descriptions and devotional teachings of different incarnations of the Almighty provide practical guidelines for the masses in a rhetoric and narrative style. Like the 24 Gurus of Bhagwan Dattatreya, the 24 letters of the Gayatri Mantra are source of inner illumination. The Holy Ramayana, written by Maharishi Valmiki, consists of 24,000 shlokas. He has prefixed, suffixed each of these by one of the 24 letters of the Gayatri Mantra. Param Dhimahi is purely a description of Dhimahi. What Devi Bhagavad and other holy scriptures of the Hindu religion preach is essentially the knowledge emanated from and about Gayatri. The Indian culture is also an elaboration of the universal guidelines of the Gayatri Mantra. It is majestic in all respects. Our rishis have warned that you may forget everything, but not forget the Mother Gayatri, which is the ultimate savior. As some of you would know, we do have a body other than the physical one. The second body is the subtle body. It is predominantly a mental body, the body of our thoughts. We should enshrine Gayatri in this mental body. We perceive our thoughts in the head. So this should be the shrine of the divine light of Gayatri. Keeping Shikha on the top center of the head symbolizes the shrine. Mother's hands are said to be always there on our head. Mother Supreme Gayatri is Chidrupini Mahamaya. Its illuminating inspirations should also be awakened in our mind. The Shikha reminds us of this fact. A goad is used on the head of an elephant to control it. Tying the Shikha reminds us of accepting the disciplines of Gayatri and controlling our thoughts and emotions accordingly. Shikha and Sutra, Yagyopavit, are two principal symbols of the disciplines associated with the Indian culture. Thread ceremony is an important sacrament of the Hindu religion, after which one wears the sacred thread shoulder. This thread represents an idol of Gayatri. Yagyopavit has 9 threads tied by 3 knots, which symbolize respectively the 9 words and 3 components of Gayatri Mantra. These imply adoption of 9 disciplines, virtuous talents, and social duties. One who cultivates these qualities and follows the teachings is a true devotee of Gayatri. The rishis have laid down in the form of religious norms some precepts for our righteous development. The most essential of these are sincere practice of Gayatri Upasana twice a day, The ideal timing for doing these are two Sandhya times, around sunrise and sunset. Muslims offer sacred prayers of namaz 5 times a day. If you regard yourself as a Hindu, you should also do Gayatri Upasana twice a day. This mantra is also referred as Guru Mantra. In the ancient times, the Gurus used to initiate a child's education by writing the Gayatri Mantra on a blank slate. The disciple was taught its pronunciation and asked to enunciate it repeatedly while also moving his fingers on its written version. Kalma is like a Guru Mantra for the Muslims. Baptism is for the Christians. Gayatri Mantra is for the Hindus, followers of the Vedic culture. This mantra is also a Guru Mantra in the sense that its sadhana awakens you from within and also takes you to a noble Guru for your spiritual growth. It is pathetic to see our decline since the medieval times. We have lost all our ancient science, artistic talent, economical riches, prosperity, and global influence in the dark period of religious delusions, blind customs, lethargy, mutual mistrust, and conflicts, and allowed the handful of invaders to rule over us. Not only that, we even forgot our mother. The children who leave their mother and ignore to recognize her ruin their own fate. We have also done that. We have separated ourselves from the light of Mother Gayatri, which loves, nurtures, strengthens, and awakens our soul. It is the radiance of Gayatri that had once upon a time illumined us like the divine humans. Audio 2. Name of the book? Gayatri Mantra, the Genesis of Divine Culture. We the Indians were most capable and talented leaders and guides of the entire world. Our rishis had disseminated knowledge across the globe. They roamed around from north to south, distance east to west for the welfare of mankind and helped humanity's cultural ascent and civilization. Archaeological evidences also affirm it. The Sun Temple, an ancient calendar found there show that the Indian culture had reached in North America and Latin American countries much before Columbus or even the Red Indians. This was the Indian culture, the divine culture that had shown the path of global peace and progress. This was the great culture derived from the Gayatri Mantra. What went wrong then? After the Rishi age, several generations of our forefathers sincerely followed their teachings. But gradually, the extrovert attitude, charm of worldly possessions, sensual pleasures, ego, and selfishness pulled us off the track and drove us in the thick smog of illusion. The darkness increased and we lost our way, confused our identity, and forgot our very origin. What happens in the darkness of night without any ray of light? Thieves, thugs, owls, scorpions, snakes, baits, etc. come out to rule over the land. We can't even walk properly on the routine road if it is plunged in darkness. We have remained astray for over 2000 years of this dark phase. Why all this happened? Because we shielded ourselves from the light of Gayatri. The Gayatri Mantra is eternal and universal. Its grace is there for everybody, like that of sun, soil, and air. But some of us chose to misinterpret and distort the true knowledge given by the rishis and made a hierarchy of the 4 varnas and linked them with one's birth. The distortion did not end here. It deprived 3 of the 4 varnas of the sadhana upasana of Gayatri. Not only that, even in the privileged class, women were not allowed to chant this mantra. Thus, only 1/8 of the human population was allowed by the so-called priests and protectors of religion to know this universal mantra. Sharp but selfish intellect find ways to justify its wrong. Some mighty swamis, the head of some self-styled cults, further exploited the faith of innocent masses by claiming that because of a curse of Lord Brahma, the japa of Gayatri Mantra cannot be practiced in the present era. Some Pandits were still ahead of them in further strengthening the superstition. They spread the rumors that Rishi, Vasishtha and Vishwamitra had blocked this mantra to prevent its misuse. So, only few deserving devotees initiated by authorized gurus can do the japa of the Gayatri Mantra. No logical mind, no seeker of spirituality can ever accept such preposterous arguments. How could Lord Brahma, who did Gayatri sadhana for thousands of years, curse it? I once asked the propagators of misconceptions. I also had a genuine doubt. If he had to restrain the sadhana of Gayatri Mantra, why Maharishi Vishwamitra rediscovered this mantra and disseminated its knowledge on the earth? Obviously, they had no answer. They can't show a single line from the Vedic texts in support of their preposterous statements. On the contrary, a little research would show that the facts are quite the contrary. For example, you may find ample number of citations of Rishikas of the Vedic times who accomplished devout sadhana of Gayatri and thus qualified to enunciate Vedic hymns with commentaries. Many of the mantras discovered by them appear in the Vedic literature and stand as immortal evidence against the distortion of the medieval times. Once a Panditji came to me and objected to my allowing people chant the Gayatri Mantra loudly. This mantra should be whispered silently in the right ear of the deserving disciple, he said. I said, good things are always said and spread loudly. Is this mantra not good? Or is it a lie? A secret of war strategy? Or an untoward or obscene statement that one would hide? So, you see how the dark phase of history had confused, distorted, and destroyed the truth and malaligned the most precious source of knowledge and superculture of humanity. This dark phase also ruined the edifice of the philosophy and original values of the Hindu religion. In no religion, be that Christianity, Islam, Sikh or others, will you find such divisions as you see among the Hindus today. It is divided in the name of caste, creed, communities, and hundreds of such mindless concepts and offshoots of selfish attempts of the self-styled mighty religious heads or social leaders. It is a pity that a society endowed with rich treasures of preeminent heritage was virtually turned into a beggar and a blind follower of superstitious customs. But there is always the dawn of new day after a dark night. The roots of divine culture cannot be eliminated from this land of the great Rishi culture. It is bound to grow and blossom again with the rise of bright sun that is peeping through the cradles of 21st century. With sunrise, one begins to see rejuvenating natural light everywhere. Thieves, owls, scorpions, snakes, bats, etc. all run away. Birds chirp with joy. Peacocks begin to dance. Lotus opens its petals and soothing cold breeze flows everywhere. Night sleep is over and one feels energetic and enthused in the freshness of morning. I perceive that we are also very soon going to see the emergence of a bright era with the advent of the new century. This will also be the sunrise of revival of the glorious path. The knowledge of Gayatri Mantra will spread in all directions. This will strengthen and uplift the backbone, the foundation of the divine culture. Views of Mahatma Gandhi. Once, Mahatma Gandhi was invited to address the academia at the Jamia Millia University. He spoke for about half an hour, but mostly on the Gayatri Mantra. This was annoying to the Islamic members of the management, as they considered it as a mantra of the Hindus. They expressed their resentment after the function was over. Gandhiji cleared their doubt, saying that this is not a mantra of the Hindu priest. Neither does it belong to any particular cult or religion. It is universal. It is the mantra of all human beings. It is a mantra of pure intellect, foresightedness, a source of divine illumination of the inner self. It is a mantra of awakening humanity in people's heart. I fully agree with what Mahatma Gandhi said about the Gayatri Mantra. I feel that I have found a lost golden heritage in this mantra, found the invaluable gem that was lost in the vicissitudes of time. Some old snakes are known to have a special kind of gem in the crest of their hoods. They are said to possess special powers which vanish if the gem is lost. Some elephants are said to have pearls in their head. If this pearl is lost, the elephant goes mad. I do not know how far this information is correct, but I can talk about the Indian culture, which has endowed with supreme powers of the Kamdhenu. We have neglected and forgotten it, deformed it, and thus doomed our prestige and thrown away the crown of being the preeminent guide to the world, and have also soiled our prestige. It is high time we awaken and do something to retrieve our lost treasure of divine culture and wisdom. I have tried my level best to revive our ancient, glorious culture that was enlightened by the Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra enfolds the science and philosophy of divinity. Gayatri Mantra is the philosophy and also the science of spiritual evolution. It is an art of living with illumined joy. It is the source of elevated thinking. It is the seed mantra of social uplifting, global peace. It is worshipped as Vishwamata. If we adopt it in our thoughts and deeds, the world would once again prosper and shine with the glory of Vedic times. Gayatri is the mantra of divine knowledge. Its sadhana can purify and transform an ordinary character into a revered one. It is worshipped as Dev Mata. I keep explaining to you the philosophy of Gayatri. You will live a fulfilling life, a memorable one, if you could grasp and follow it through your heart. Now, let me tell you something about the science of Gayatri. Are you aware that you are full of enormous powers, extrasensory capabilities? But these remain unexpressed and dormant. The vibrations generated by devout sadhana of Gayatri Mantra stir and gradually activate the nuclei of power hidden in your subtle and physical body. Awakening these endows you with supernatural powers. Gayatri Mantra also enlightens your intellect and inspires divine virtues in your inner self. Thus, it can transmute an ordinary individual self into divine self. This is how a divine incarnation, angelic being is born in the human form. Lord Ram and Lord Krishna were born in human forms. Like other humans, they also left the physical sheath one day. But they were divine incarnations. They were gods in human form. Their divine powers and virtues were expressed as per the need of the era and purpose of their arrival on earth. We are not angelic beings, but that possibility is certainly sown in our deep self. Every human being can refine his character, thoughts, talents, and actions and transform himself into a great personality. Become a world leader like George Washington, an intrepid warrior like Napoleon, a sage like Vivekananda, and reach still higher realms of self-revolution. God has bestowed divine potentials in everyone. One only needs to realize, recognize, and raise these by spiritual enlightenment. Gayatri Sadhana can make it possible in this very life. I have researched and experimented myself on the philosophy and science of this mantra and found that all that is stated in the scriptures about its supreme spiritual force and cosmic radiance and divine power of evolution of consciousness is absolutely true. This is why I can tell you so confidently about it. I want you all, the whole world, to benefit by the divine grace of Gayatri. It will accelerate both your worldly progress as well as spiritual ascent. It is important for us. We need neither renounce the worldly life nor should we neglect our spiritual growth and well-being. The support of Gayatri Mantra guides our intellect and orients our capabilities for the righteous progress on both the fronts. I have been explaining and guiding you in different kinds of Upasana Sadhana of Gayatri Mantra. Regular sessions for practice in the spiritually vibrant ambience of Shanti Kunj are also run here throughout the year. Everybody is welcome here. Now let me tell you something about the Siddhis bestowed by Gayatri. When and what does the Mother Gayatri bestow upon us? Well, a mother loves every child, but she gives only small toys and toffees and things like that to the tiny kids. She does not give precious gifts or valuables to them unless they mature and she's convinced that they can take proper care of those things. What if a 5-year-old Ramesh asks his mother to give him the key of the lockers? Will she give it to him? No. Instead, she would hide it carefully so that the kid won't see it. Yes, but once Ramesh is grown up and starts sharing the responsibilities of the household and is wise and capable enough to transact his duties, the mother would one day herself hand over the keys to him and his wife. When Ramesh was a child, he would cry for sweets and expensive toys and break them in no time. As a teenager, he was wayward and would like to imitate whatever good or bad his friends were doing. Show off, mischief making, quarreling were his interests then. But now, things are different. He has matured not only in age but also in wisdom. Earlier, he would compel his parents to purchase milk cake of 20 rupees and eat half and throw away the remaining. But now, he himself earns. He knows the value of hard-earned money. He would even drink tea without milk if there is some scarcity at home, as he understands that the little children and the elderly need it more. He earns respect in the society because of his good nature and dutiful conduct. What if he were a drunkard, a hoodlum, or a lethargic chap who would do nothing except watching cinema and daydreaming? Then, even his near and dear ones would not have believed him. No one would lend him money and extend support to him. One earns his status in worldly life in the society as per his qualities and deeds. Spiritual attainments are more precious than anything else in this universe. They cannot be bestowed upon just anyone. God blesses only the deserving devotees. What you achieve depends upon your purity, sincerity, and devotion in the sadhana. Siddhis will gradually emerge from within as you progress in the sadhana. A guru helps you march along the path of spirituality only if you deserve it, and only if you are dedicated towards this noble cause. He certainly guides you on how to become a deserving disciple and also initiates you in the sadhana and commences the journey on the path of knowledge. But your success will depend upon your own endeavors. He shows the path, but it is you who has to step ahead. There is nothing like a magic wand in spiritual practice, as many of you might think. You may wish that the Guru or a great yogi will put his hand on your head and you will attain some siddhis. But this is all very delusion. But this is all your delusion. Spirituality, in simple terms, is a method of living an enlightened, fulfilling life. It is the science of evolution of consciousness, expansion of the narrow individual self into the omnipresent Supreme Self. Your Shraddha, integrated with the focus of devotion, renders greatest support in following the ascetic disciplines of sadhana. Patience and sincerity are other prerequisites along this testing path. A spiritual seeker is altruistic in his attitude. He is happy and strong from within because he knows that happiness or strength does not lie outside. I have tried to inculcate spirituality in my life. The supramental faculties and the spiritual attainments or siddhis, if any, you find in me are blessings of Mother Gayatri. From my side, I have tried to perform the sadhana of 24 Mahapurush Charans of Gayatri for 24 years while eating only barley bread and buttermilk of cow and observing other ascetic disciplines as taught by my great Guru in the Himalayas. All these years I did not know what the taste of wheat, fruits, sugar or salt is. I have tried to sincerely follow the guidance of my revered master. I have tried to live the life of a true Brahmin and a saint. Who is a Brahmin? The one who lives for knowledge. The one who takes the least from others and gives the most to others. And who's a saint? A saint's heart is full of love and compassion. It pulsates and craves to eliminate the pain of others. True saints and Brahmins are greater than God. How? Well, God listens to their prayers and comes to attend to their calls. You must have read in the holy scriptures that Dev Rishi Narad had several privileges. You must have also read that Maharishi Shringi had performed Putreshti Yagya in King Dashrath's palace. Lord Ram, along with his Vibhutis, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughan, could not ignore his call and had to take birth as King Dashrath's sons as per the objective of the Yajna. Once a Brahmin had cursed King Parikshita for the latter's misdeeds. In spite of best efforts by his mighty army to capture and destroy all snakes from their land, taking all precautions to protect the king, on the 7th day of the curse, Parikshita died of snake bite. Please remember, one does not become a Brahmin by birth. Sainthood does not reflect in one's satire or philosophical knowledge. The qualities of a Brahmin and saint should lie in one's heart, character and conduct. You would deserve great boons of Mother Gayatri if you awaken the qualities of a Brahmin and a saint hidden within your soul. The upasana of Gayatri Mantra is like sowing the seed. Ascetic disciplines for self-refinement are like plowing the land before sowing. But as you know, sowing the seed in a properly plowed field is not enough. The farmer or the gardener also has to arrange for watering it and nurturing it with good soil. The sprout would also need adequate air and sunlight to gradually grow into a sapling and eventually into a blossoming tree. Similarly, your efforts of becoming a saint and a Brahmin by transforming your attitudes, convictions, desires, and goals would also be necessary for the fructification of your Gayatri sadhana. A wonderful feature of Gayatri mantra is that its japa with deep faith itself initiates your inner refinement and transformation and thus lends immense support in your efforts of becoming a Brahmin or a saint. A true saint or a Brahmin is never short of people's cooperation. He distributes and gets multifold love and respect in return. Look at Mahatma Gandhi's life. Whole nation was behind him. What was his force of attraction? The achievements of our mission are also visible before you. From where did all this come? I never had to ask for anything. Divine grace showers itself upon me from all directions in the form of people's love and voluntary cooperation. Who made such a grand organization of millions of devotees that continues to expand beyond the wildest expectations? If you are a true Brahmin or a saint and a devoted sadhak of Gayatri Mantra, the Mother Supreme will bestow enormous Riddhi Siddhis upon you. You might aspire only for these divine potentials and supernatural talents, but Mother Gayatri will bless you with something even more superior, ultimate and unalloyed bliss of the soul. Nothing remains to be acquired after attaining this Atma Santosha. No desire, no disturbance will be there while carrying on with your normal activities as a human being. A blessed sadhak lives in an ocean of joy, energy, and inner light. I experience it every moment. Audio 3. Name of the book: Gayatri Mantra, the Genesis of Divine Culture. Those burning in the fire of jealousy burn others too. They are living ghosts. This fire is fueled by ambitions, worldly desires, and the ego. There are very few in the world who experience the real delight and contentment of human life. For most others, happiness is conditioned on gaining success, prosperity, comfort, name, and fame. Even if what one aspired for has reached him and made him happy today, he will again be the same not so happy chap tomorrow, wanting something else. These days, people's faith in God is shaky. Sometimes Lord Ganesh is their Isht. Then they will become ardent devotees of Hanumanji, Lord Shiva, etc., depending upon who they believe would rescue them from adversities or fulfill their desires on a given day. Your devotion should be focused and remain unperturbed if you are a spiritual seeker. That is essential for progress in your sadhana. I have surrendered my identity to the devotion of Gayatri Mantra. This great mantra is the source of divine light. Its sadhana has illumined my life. It has given me Atma Santosha, affection, honor, and cooperation from all directions. It has also bequeathed me with angelic support and help. Lord lives with me like a bodyguard. The radiance of Gayatri has filled my being with beatifying bliss. I pray and wish that all of you also receive the grace of Gayatri and be the sadhaka of this eternal mantra of divine Indian culture. I may not exist in the physical body after a few years, but the transcend aura of Gayatri Mantra will continue to protect and guide you. Om Shanti.